Welcome to the series of webinars being conducted by HOPE Qatar and its partner company, Disabilities. As most of you know that HOPE Qatar is providing services which are affordable and as per the needs of children since 18 years. And now we are starting off with our another company, Dalili. Dalili is Arabic. In Arabic, Dalili is my guide, and we are going to focus on trainings. And this is also the project of Dalili, which we are starting. Hope Qatar is basically hope means help, opportunities, participation, and education. And we focus on all these things with children. Um, you can go on the websites to just see more information, to get the more information about all these programs that we offer. Hope Qatar is offering academic and therapeutic programs in one organization. And for training programs, you can check the review. So now we are going to start with the science of play. That's my topic, and we will be focusing on how playtime sparks brain growth and development, and how it's important for children with disabilities, how we can work around it. It's not just for children with disabilities mostly, but also for every kid. So we are going to talk about how play drives brain development and growth. We will look through practical strategies to enhance the cognition, social emotional aspects, and growth through play. We will also be focusing on behavior management through play, how we can improve the social and emotional quotient in kids, and how we can improve focus and self-control through play. And we will be talking more about it. But first, I want to know how many of you know about this theory. I went across it 4 years back, and I learned about it. So, did you know that babies, when they're born with 100 billion cells, 100 billion brain cells, all the kids. When it comes to children with disabilities, we do see neurological impairment and a few of like impact on the brain because of certain reasons. But mostly kids are born with 100 billion brain cells. And if you look through the birth time and then 0 to 1 years, 1 to 3, and 3 to 5 years, we'll see immense development in the brain. So first year it's 70%, it's 85% by the age of 3, and by the age of 5, 92% of your brain is developed. So the question comes, how does that happen? Like, how is it happening? The brain cells use synapses to grow. So by the birth, the child is having those brain cells. The child is creating those synapses as the child is born. By 3 months, you can see a little bit of connections are going on. By 6 months, it's proceeding. By 2 years, the brain connections are improving. The brain size is growing. So the question arises, how does brain make synapses? It's through the stimulation. It's through the child. Child is receiving information by different senses. All these senses. It's not just smell, taste, touch, and vision. It's also tactile. It's also vestibular, proprioceptive, interoceptive. And these are more, we can talk about it more when it comes to occupational therapy. They can tell more. It's about balancing. It's about knowing your inner body movements, how you feel. So all these things, the child is getting the information through the environment, and then they're processing it. Okay, that's how they create those synapses. So this is a quote by Maria Montessori, which I truly admire because of her work and her research on play. The senses, being explorers of the world, open the way of knowledge as apparatus of educating. The senses offers the child a key to guide its exploration of the world. So the child, when he's born, he or she is born, they're learning through us. They're learning through their environment. They're learning through lights, different textures, when they're eating, when they're putting everything in the mouth. They are learning. They are getting those information, and that is creating those synapses. So as per the age of children, they are learning something from these senses, from the things that we provide during that time. The child is an active learning cycle. When the child is born, there is no passive learning. We are not teaching something by the age of 5. The child is learning to speak, learning to eat, learning to walk. Everything is through experimenting. So we are focusing on more of experimental learning when it comes to uh, learning in the age of early age till the age of 5. So the mindfulness concept is there. The children who are more involved in play, whatever type of play is, it's improving their concentration and their focus. They're exploring, they're learning, they're mindful. What we notice in children with disabilities or children with neurodiversities is they're in their own world. They are not being present, but play can make them come out of their thoughts or that vicious cycle, and then they can focus more on um, the thing that is in front of them. So there are a few quotes also by Fred Rogers and Albert Einstein. Both were very serious about play, because we do think play is just fun. It's just a leisure activity, something that should be done after study, after you have done your homework, then you can play. But play, as Fred Rogers says, is it's not a relief from serious learning, but it's a serious work for child. And it's the highest form of research, as per Albert Einstein, who did immense work in research. He did bring up a lot of innovations. So when he's saying, that means it's something really important for children. So we are going to now talk about another aspect, as per we talked about the synapses, how the brain wires and creates signals and it grows in size. Now we are also going to talk about the hand X-rays. You can see the hand X-ray of a 2-year-old. You can feel the gaps between between the bones. As you see, the 4-year hand, the gaps are a little less, and they're decreasing in size as per the child is growing. Why are we talking about it? Because the kids do need to develop those pre-writing skills. What are pre-writing skills? Your fine motors, you must be aware when you're working with children, not just children with special needs, but even children in general. You're working in early childhood, you will see the emphasis on fine motor skills of children, because those finger movements, those muscles need to be strengthened before the child gets pencil. How can we develop those pre-writing skills, and how do we do that here when we work with children? The child learns it through climbing, holding, balancing, pushing, pulling. All those things, if you focus on all these pictures, you can see the hands are being involved in a way that there's a constraint on the hand. So the muscles are strengthening by squishing, twisting, pinching different materials. So if you can look closely, you can see how in each picture there is some sort of play involved. The movement of hands, the fingers are involved, there's a constraint on the fingers, those fine things that are going to develop those fine motors and pre-writing. So that child can hold pencil. We do feel like sometimes we are watching a kid holding a pencil like this. Even at the age of 7, 8, the child is stuck with this palmar grasp. Why? Because the fine motors are not as developed. So now that we are working again, when there is a delay, we are working on those skills again through play. Then Maria Montessori said in the period of early childhood, they are urged by nature itself to coordinate the movements of hands. So when they're playing with sand, when they're playing in the playground, when they're playing with water, they have the urge to touch everything, that hold everything. That's the play age. We are thinking that they are not learning anything, they're just having fun, but there's a whole science behind it. So when it comes to developing social and communication skills, play does an impact, because one child might not be interested in playing with other kids, but now when it comes to playing with Lego, for example, the child is showing other kids, see, I made a tower, it's like that. I can, I can make a robot out of it. Do you want to see? So now they're developing those social and communication skills through play. They're bringing more kids, they're showing something that they made, they're representing it, they're learning those representative skills through it. They're also learning conflict management. We do struggle with kids who don't want to share things, but play gives an opportunity, because the other kid might be coming with a very interesting toy, and one kid also has a toy. They can share, they can learn to share, and if there is a conflict, there is an opportunity to manage that conflict through talk, through different techniques. But now when they are playing, you have that opportunity. If they are not playing, there is no opportunity. Something really important for kids, all the kids, it's free play and finding their self-expression through play. Whatever they are good at, whatever they do best, it's their treasure. So play gives them free play, especially when there's no structure around it. It gives them the opportunity to be everywhere, using every toy, and see if they're like, what do they like, what they're good at, and it's boosting their self-esteem also. So it's not just, just playing randomly and then showing something and then going back home. They are making something, completing an activity, like you can see in the picture. The girl might be interested in the trains. So now she wants to finish the whole track. If she wants to put every track in line, so she can see the end result. She can work. She can drive the train around it, and that is taking patience. That is making her focus on it. That is giving her the concept of starting and finishing one task. So play is doing a lot of things in a child's brain when you look closely. So now question arises, how can play impact children with needs? It's a very important topic. The play provides children an opportunity to learn at their own pace. They're exploring, they're looking around, they're looking for some colors, maybe they're interested in books, they're interested in trains, and when they come to us in our classrooms or in our therapy sessions, we do provide them different toys, and we see which is the preferred item, which item the child is liking, and how the child is exploring that item. Is the child putting that in mouth? What's the age of the child? If the child's age is, like, for example, 8, 9 years old, and the child is putting everything in the mouth, that means the child is lacking those oral motor development now, because that was fixated at some point. So it gives us opportunity to observe them, and they can also learn by their own pace, because when a child with disability or child with neurodiversity is coming to us, they're already lacking few milestones. So now they are learning as per their not just interests, but their capability. So you can find the level. You can work from that level onwards. This can benefit children with needs because this is their customized program. Play is very customized. Even if you don't give a lot of toys to children, if you're letting them play, you're watching them playing around, learning, even through, like, I have my mouse here, for example. If you give a mouse to the child will be looking at it, maybe putting in the mouth, maybe playing with it, clicking the buttons. They're learning, and it's customized. So the child, if is interested in one toy, you can make a whole learning goal around it. You can use it as a reinforcer, but also you can work around it. Play also provides children with neurodiversities and children with needs an opportunity to have to learn about themselves. They are being specific, they are being routine oriented, they are structured, they like to line up the toys. No need to change that. They are learning, and first we need to know why they are putting everything in line, what's the reason behind it, and how we can make them learn about themselves, their own unique way, through this. The child is lining the toy. No need to change it. A lot of people might be coming and saying that that's not a functional play, but it is a functional play. The child is learning about himself. And if you watch this child lining up the cars, you can learn about this child, that this child is specific to details. This child is specific to routines. And now it's easy to work with this child when you can see the child playing in a free environment. Now you know that this child might be good in structured learning. This child might be good with visual schedules. In scheduled learning, you have to create a routine, because you can see their own unique way of playing, and now you understand them, and now you can build strategies around it. So it's not just giving them strong sense of self, but it's also giving them sense of the world. They are watching it through their eyes. They are learning it through their own level. A lot of times we are not providing them enough time, enough opportunity to play the way they want to, although it's their right, because we want them to play in a certain way. But we are missing that part, that this is how they're learning. This is very crucial. So if you delve deep into play, you will get to know that a lot of senses are involved. All of the senses are equally involved. The child is being present. And now, when they're touching something, squishing a stress ball, they're blowing bubbles, they're getting calm. So you can teach those calming strategies through play. No need to teach them just by showing cards. You can use these objects, and you can teach them self-regulatory skills through these objects, these play. You are teaching them the vocabulary around it, as well as how this play is calming them down. For a lot of children with sensory issues, they find it very hard to be around loud noises. They find it very hard to be very bright lights. So now when you're giving them these objects, or you're taking them in a very dim light, you're giving them this opportunity to play in a way that is calming them down. That provides us the opportunity to work on their behaviors. Because if a child is dysregulated, it's very hard to work on their behaviors. The child needs us to teach them how to regulate their emotions, their behaviors, their feelings. If they are dysregulated, they are stressed, it's very hard for themselves um, to co-regulate or regulate first. It's very hard for them. They don't know. They are learning through us. They are learning through play. So when you are letting them play, you are also teaching them calming down techniques. You are teaching them the impact of that certain toy, or for example, that water play, bubbles. You can teach them now that it's calming them down. So they can feel it in their body that they're calming down. Once they are calmed, once they are ready, now you can work on the behaviors. You can reflect also. If the child is ready, you can ask about what happened, so they can reflect on it. But at that time, when the behavior is so dysregulated, it's very hard to, you cannot do it. It's the child's brain the working brain won't be working anymore. The limbic brain will be working just it's just they're on survival mode. They are on fight, flight, or freeze. And now when you're telling them, for example, sit on the chair or do this work, it won't work because the child's brain is shutting down. So first, letting them play, letting them be calm, and then working on those behaviors and ask them to notice those behavior changes, the changes in the body. So it provides us a lot of opportunities to not just work on behavior, but also speech and language. The child was first not interested in talking, might be a behavior, might be escape because the child feels like it's a big struggle to speak or no need to speak. Now through play, you can create those learning environments where the child is now ready to speak. The child just wants to speak to you. Also, when you're as like I wanted to add it to behavior therapy, how it's important in behavior therapy is there is a lot going on in a child's brain. They're not bonded with you. There's no way you can work on behaviors until you're bonded. And play also provides opportunity to for the therapist or special educators or parents to bond with the child, to create that bonding, to create that rapport, which is now letting the child understand that you understand them. And now, if you're saying something, it will be meaningful. They will be looking at you. They will be they will try to go beyond slightly, even if it's very slight change in the behavior, in the compliance. It's through your bonding with them, and play is very crucial in that because the child, for example, the child is lining up the toys. Now you're lining up with them. They will feel validated, and when any person is validated, they will be listening to you. They will be looking up to you. They would want you to express something, and they are ready to understand, they are ready to reciprocate. So you can, for example, you can change the type of play a little bit. Now you're not lining it, now you're putting in a circle and you're watching them, how they react. And now if your goal is to sit for 3 minutes with one activity, now the child will be listening to you because you are not just bonded, you are interested in the game. Now, if you introduce another game or another toy or another play, the child will be interested in that. Oh, this person is interesting. They are going to show something very cool. So they are now looking. Now they're open to receive. But certainly, they're missing it out because of technology. They're missing out play. They're missing out interactions. They're missing out big chunk. They have a very strict schedule. They are following it. They are going to school, then they are going to our tuitions, for example, therapies. They are missing it out. They're missing the important aspect of their life. And because we don't give it enough importance, now we don't know. So we are not putting an emphasis. We are like, okay, fine, good for the child. We should be doing homework first, and then they will watch TV. But now TV will give you that dopamine race, but it's not going to give you that. It's not going to give you that. Yes, it's not going to give you that learning experience which play could do. So now what's worse is babies are like those who are just born, and after that they're just watching the screen. They're watching everyone around them, and like I will put an emphasis. They're looking around other people watching TV, they are watching tablets, they are watching phones, and they're so intrigued that they're like, something is inside this device, I should open it too. And they will be asking for it, they will be crying for it, and then as soon as they get it, they are hooked to it. They're stuck there because it's a lot of stimulation through the screen without any other senses being involved. So the child is not learning, but they are definitely getting stimulated with this technology, which has a bigger impact on children in general, not just children with needs or children with neurodiversity. For every child, this is a big impact. Now they're missing the play, which was supposed to teach them a lot of skills. I do have been asked by parents that you just play with kids. You have a lot of play material. What is the child learning? You're just playing. But I want to answer it through this picture. The child is just swinging. And do you think that the child is learning anything? The child is learning to balance themselves. When there is motor and physical activity, you can see a more important kind of education, a kind of education that takes force of life into account. So now, if this is Maria Montessori, again, she puts a lot of emphasis on learning when you're out in outdoor, you're experimentally learning, you're using all those materials that adults use. She's more she puts a lot of focus on daily living tasks at home for kids, so to learn this wisdom. And it's very important part of education. And if you see here in HOPE Qatar, we are now focusing a lot. We used to focus it, now we are focusing a lot on daily living skills. On every Thursdays, all the classes, we do work on daily living skills because it's crucial for their learning in general. Then if they can communicate, but they're not capable of folding their clothes and being independent as per their capabilities, then that education is incomplete. So now we are focusing more on that. So now a little, there are a lot of types of plays. I was looking around it, but I just kept one example, which I love the most. Smart kitchen, where kids do go in the nature. They will be plucking leaves, they will be taking soil, and now they're cooking something in the mud kitchen. Their hands are dirty, but they're so involved. So now, for example, if you ask the child, what are you doing? They will explain, I'm making a mud pie. What is a mud pie? So now they're thinking what they're making. So analytical thinking. They're exploring through their senses. All the senses are involved. They're looking around, listening to, they're out in nature, they're listening to the different sounds of nature, they're decorating, they're getting the sense of keeping things in the right places. If you give them this prompt to wash their hands because they're dirty, so now they're learning that concept that, see, my hands were dirty, but I washed them with water and they're clean now. They are learning about mixing, they're counting, they're creating something. It's like a project-based learning. You are also involved. Maybe initially you are involved, and then you put yourself aside. You're sitting back, and now you're just watching them creating something, scooping and pouring, following a recipe, maybe a lot of things. Like through one project, it's just maybe an hour of free play, but how many things a child is learning. And for them, this is play. For us, this is play. For them, peeling an egg, folding their clothes can be play if been done in a playful way. And it's also teaching them patience, focus. It's making them ready for school or for life. Again, they learn, their brains do get developed through movement. This gives them concentration, self-discipline, perseverance, and active interest. Because now you're not just like giving them paper and pencil and you're saying, write it down, write things down. You're giving them materials that they're interested in. And now you have developed that waiting skill for them. And now if you add the worksheets and the notebooks and the writing, they will be able to sustain that concentration level to some extent. But for example, if you start it right away, the child is 3 years old going to the preschool, and the preschool is like just giving them paper and pencil to not just color, trace, for example. The child will lose interest because it was not supposed to be like that. Different types of play according to age level are unoccupied play. The child is just noticing the nature, that's also play. The child is playing alone, that is also play. The child is looking at another child, it's not a very good opportunity. You can make one child who can play really well, you can just put them in a place where this child who is onlooker playing with something, and now they will go and, for example, they will first snatch this robot, for example. This onlooker child is ready to learn now. Parallel play, which we do a lot, they are doing their own tasks side by side, might be giving a gaze. One boy is coloring, one girl is also coloring. They can later on after playing, they can show each other, wow, that's so nice. How did you make it? Which color did you use? Associative play is like they're building something and they're using each other's help. Can you pass me that one? Do you need the cone? Can I get it? So they're learning those communication skills needed. Cooperative play is the highest form of play where children are together. Now they're on one task. They need each other's support. They are fully involved. They're fully interacting. This play is an ultimate goal, but it starts from unoccupied play at first. Some play ideas for home, you don't need a lot of toys. It's about how mindfully you are playing, how you keeping those little things in mind, what the child is learning, what words are important, how to teach them reflection, those reflective skills, analytic skills, you can teach them. You just even need just those blocks and you're teaching them this skill. So you are just making a tower. You can teach speech also. I'm putting block, block, and then once the child learns block, you can say red block. And now I'm making a big tower. So you're teaching the concept of big, long, and short. Oh, it fell down. Oh no. So I'm teaching expressions as well. So it's not just about having expensive toys and a lot of toys, it's how you play with it. You can also let the child just give a little bit of thing. Let's cook something. How we are going to cook? We are going to cook with these blocks. Oh, how? So now they're thinking, they're looking for things, and now they will be giving you these cubes as ice cubes. Maybe they will bring a cup, they will put the cubes, and they'll think, let's have it, mama. Other than that, they can make a stove, and you think how it's helping them. They are using their imaginative skills, they are being creative, and that is going to help them in academic learning. We put a lot of emphasis on academic learning, very true, very important. But how we are going to bring the child towards academic learning is play, because we are now building the brain. We are not just making them memorize things. The child doesn't need to know the landforms, for example. The child needs to understand what's a mountain. Maybe you can teach, oh, let's make a scenery. The triangles are now mountains, and the child is thinking about it, thinking as per your perspective. You can use water play. In summertime, it can be a great way to engage kids outside the, like, if you have this space outside, you can use water play. Some water guns, maybe you can get a syringe, you can be very creative with it. just giving them water. Even you can experiment if you have a very small child at home. You can give them, they sit on the high chairs. You can just put a little bit of 3, 4 drops of water on on their tray, and you will be finding them splashing it with their hands, and then they will be looking it, then they will be looking their hands. They're learning. They're learning the different textures, which we later on teach that's rough and smooth and wet and dry. You can teach it through play. My favorite, role play. Now you don't need, again, you don't need a lot of fancy things for that. You can just let the child know we are going to go on a flight. We are traveling. We are traveling. They are making a passport, for example, from the paper, and they're using the sunglasses. They're making a boat out of a carton. So it's making them think, reflect, analyze. Outdoor play is very important for children, very important, being overlooked these days. They do have a lot of energy in them, which needs to be channelized. It's very important for them to play. And now you can be involved with them, being parents, if the teachers or therapists have that opportunity to, you have a certain goal, you can use play for that. You can let the child be out, play with them. You will be feeling very light, very enjoyable, and the child is also learning. So it's very frustrating also to sit with a child and say, write it down, trace A, trace B. Now you're just giving them, for example, phonic cards, and now you're teaching them A, B, and now maybe putting like using Play-Doh, and now they have to roll it and put as per the shape of A. So it's playful, you can be involved, the child is bonded. You're just not just teaching, you're spending the quality time, which we do regret sometimes that we are not giving them the quality time. You can do that. Games as simple as peekaboo, as per Harvard University, they use the terminology serve and return, where the child has to serve something, do a little gesture. It can be cool, a little babble, a little, and then you're returning and you're teaching something. So even if it's be mindful, if you're again in interacting with children again, your students, just notice how they seek these circles of connection. I call it circles of connection, where they would be saying something, they would be just giving you a high five. And then if you do it back, if you return, they're so happy, they're validated, their emotional being is now um, validated. Now they're more confident, they're more belonged, and now they can move forward. So simple games as peekaboo teach the concept of object permanence. The kids' initial stage, they don't know if something is lost, they think it's lost forever. But now you're teaching them that, oh, mommy's back. Oh, mommy's gone again. And then she's back again. So now they're learning. Okay. So it's just a game of peekaboo, but how this game is teaching a lot of skills. Something very important is play is what lifts people out of the mundane. Life is very boring for adults. So don't we are making it boring for the kids also. So it takes them out from that. It's I sometimes compare play to oxygen. It's all around us. Yet it goes mostly unnoticed, unappreciated until it's missing. So it's very important. It should be, you should be noticing, even if you're a professional, even if you're a parent, just go play with your child for 15 minutes, 5 minutes even, and see the impact. Notice those things that the child might be learning, the child might be asking, or if you're, say, for example, you have given them the Play-Doh, how they're noticing it and how they're learning through it, especially the children with needs who have lacked a few milestones, and now you can work from that onwards. Now, I will be having question answer sessions, and at the end of this question answer session, at the end of now this webinar, I would want you to give your 2 minutes to fill the feedback form. It's the link giving in the chat. And then first go and fill the form, please, and then we will be proceeding for the question answer sessions.
Ma'am, I am unable to fill the form.
All right, we are looking at it, and we might be you are going to soon get the link again.
Hello. Thanks for this amazing work. I have a question, please.
The link must be working by now. Please check again.
Can I proceed with my question?
Sure, we are open to questions as we are done with the feedback forms. I think a lot of people are filling the forms. So let them finish and then we'll start in 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
I'm unable to get the form.
Sorry.
Still needs the permission. We are unable to fill the form.
People are unable to fill the form, still needs permission.
Hello, my name is Saeed and I have a question, please.
Just wait for.
Yeah.
Hi, Ms. Anosha, I think we'll go ahead with the question answer session while others are resolving the. Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Oh. Please continue with your questions.
Hi, thank you. So my name is Saeed and I've been listening to you, and I think first of all, I really want to say thank you. I think it was really good information for us parents who otherwise don't have many avenues of gaining this information. So thank you very much. Question is around when you were mentioning about outdoor play area, and you know the difficulties we have, the parents of kids with disabilities, that we can't go outdoor a lot. Plus, there are limited play areas designed for kids with those sort of abilities, and especially in Qatar here, where weather is also challenging a good half of the year. So, is there something that you can recommend for those who live in apartments, not in big villas, what sort of indoor setup that they can do to kind of replicate something that they can otherwise learn outdoors?
That's a very good question. I think a lot of people don't know yet. There is a park specially designed for children with disabilities, Laktefia Park. It's in the area of Laktefia. You can search it on Google and get the Google map, get the directions. Also, yes, the weather is challenging outside, but now we are going towards winters. Also, when it's summertime, it gives us opportunity to play with water more. And during home, like being at home, keeping the kids busy, keeping the kids like providing those materials to play, it's very crucial. You can go on Pinterest, you can look on the activities. There are a lot of simple activities like depends on the child and their unique interest. You can also get like two bowls, for example. You can put water in one bowl, the other one is empty, and the child is now from one spoon to one bowl to another. The child is scooping and pouring, picking up the water and pouring. You can use syringe; it's very cheap. You can get it, and the child is doing that. You can use, for example, if you have a balcony or if you don't have, you can put a big tray or big plastic where you can put the animals like animal toys for the kids if the kid is interested in that. And you can use you can put sand on it a little bit, little soil if you can get it. Make them a little dirty. If you don't have it, you can use cocoa powder. And now you can give them a bowl of detergent water, and now they can clean it with the toothbrush, with a sponge. Now it's getting when they grow, you can also use role play. You can use role play is less messy for smaller kids. More messy play is being used, but for adults, if you have a child who is an adult, you can use those role play games. You can use colorings. You can use like in the Pinterest. There are a lot of things that you can do. They can create something of their own as well. I hope I answered your question.
The link is not working on my side.
Is there any other questions while we resolve the issue with the link?
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Anosha, for this amazing work. I have a question. I would like to know, how do you ensure that play remains meaningful and purposeful as children with special need progress developmentally, especially as they transition into adolescence?
That is a good question. That depends on the child's mental level, as well as the things where they're lacking. You have a certain goal in mind. You give the child a few preferred things that you think the child might like. The child might like puzzles. Now they're going to adolescence. They won't be like mostly they won't be interested in let's say Play-Doh. They won't be interested in those toys. They might be interested in puzzles and by now they might be fixated to one toy that you think they are. Now you can use that for teaching the concept that you want to teach. I have an example, one of a student I had before. He was very interested in curry masala boxes, those spice boxes. He was so interested in that he used to bring those at home. He used to buy all the time. So I used to line them with him. That's how I built the rapport. And then I used to teach spellings. He was at the point where he could learn spellings. So I used to teach him spellings with that. I used to give him questions with that. So even if it's just one thing that a child is interested in, you can just put things around it and then you can teach. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We have a hand raised by Miss Nimra Kushid. You can unmute yourself and ask the question, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm trying to fill a form, but it is still asking for a permission.
Ma'am, we are working on that.
Yes,
Um,
we are working on that, and we'll resolve it shortly. Otherwise, we'll resend the link to all the attendees.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Shweta. I'm a shadow teacher in Indian school. I'm working with a child of 7-year-old, and she has a problem of self-talk. How can we help her with play or activity, ma'am? Which kind of play we can help her engaging?
That's a very good question. Self-talk can have a lot of background, deep down things going on for self-talk. The child might be making a script and being on a script. There would be an emotional cause. You can use dolls. I know it's very hard to use it in the schools, but you can just bring maybe not just no need to bring dolls. You can make puppets, paper puppets, and you can use those puppets, finger puppets or hand puppets with the paper. And now those puppets are talking to the girl. She might be not as yet. She's not interested to talk to you, but if she has a character in her mind, you can mimic that character, and now you can make that puppet, and now she maybe can talk with that. So for this, role play is a good imaginative play because she is already in imagination. You have to bring her out from that level where she's not talking to herself, but something relatable, something in the present world.
Okay, yeah. Neurological disorder is a reason for this, ma'am, or what exactly is the reason behind the self-talk, and there is no stillness?
There can be many reasons. It can be autism. It can be just an emotional need. She was maybe lonely for a long time, and now she has made herself a friend. There can be neurological reason behind it. We do need assessments for that clarity. But the main focus is how can we bring her out of it? Since now we are
Okay.
working on just that behavior.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have another question.
Sure, go ahead.
How can special educators strike a balance between allowing free creative play and guiding to ensure children are meeting developmental or academic milestones?
It's very hard for special educators to stick to an IEP, reaching all the goals. We do have very short time, a lot of kids. That's pretty understandable for that. I would just say for bonding with kids, you can use play, you can use those toys, or somewhere a child you feel like stuck. Maybe addition questions, you feel like you're giving a child a worksheet, for example, and the child is stuck. They have no abstract thinking around addition. So now you can give play material. You can use blocks, you can use anything for that specific thing where the child is stuck. So you can use that. You can incorporate play. So now it's less stressful for the child. No need to abstractly thinking for mathematics. Now they can just see, and you can practice and then fade it away.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions? If you have any little question, anything that is confusing, you can ask again. No problem.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you very much for this presentation. I have one question. My son, he is 4 years and 8 months old, non-verbal, but actually, past couple of months, he is playing repetitively with spinning things such as cables, clothes, such as hanging things. So how can I, stop him doing these things, and how can I help him to play or engage himself in other things. So these
Um,
things are really in very high or repetitive way. He's not
mhm,
playing with the normal things, but he's keep
mhm.
playing with the things, which is hanging or cables or clothes. So this is something
So
troubling
like,
us.
sorry to put you, so hanging clothes or like hanging anything, I
Yeah,
didn't get.
exactly in the same direction what you have presented recently.
Mhm,
Like
mhm,
he's using his both hands and then he
mhm.
is spinning repetitively.
Okay, so if the children are in neurodiversity, they have autism spectrum, they do
Of
something
course.
called stimming, which is
Okay.
important for their regulation, self-regulation. There is a lot of people do want to end it, finish it, but you can they do learn to retain the information. They can also they do also uh, learn the concept, be stress free through that specific
Mhm.
repetitive, what you said, repetitive
Yeah.
movement. Important part is how you can change it. Like if the child is, because if you completely stop it, it will either increase the behavior, bad behavior,
Mhm.
problem behaviors, or make the child frustrated. It's usually not possible. So you can make
Okay.
the child, mostly
Mhm.
you can role model, you can go along and hold the child's hand since he's non-verbal and make him hang something functionally. Okay. So
Okay.
you can for example say, let's hang the cable over there. There's a rack there. Let's hang the keys, the car keys when you enter the house. Car keys would be hanging at the key holder.
Mhm.
Let's fold your clothes, let's hang them. It's laundry time, so you're not just teaching functional living skills, but also you are validating the need to hang something. So there is a root cause for that stimming. You are helping them, helping your
Okay.
child to validate and change it a little bit.
Okay.
Usually, we do let the child stim. It's
Mhm.
important for their memory retention, according to recent studies, before we used to change those behaviors. But you can slightly move them. So maybe validating the hanging part and then, okay, fine, finish. Now we are going to do something else. Or keeping the
Okay.
hands busy. Keeping the hands busy with stress ball, for example, or um, the pipe that we have, Play-Dohs, we can use any other thing to keep the hands busy.
Perfect. Actually, when we are taking him out for a couple of hours, he's not doing such thing. And when we are at home, he is engaging himself doing such things. So this is something quite, I mean, like disturbing us. When he is out with us in the park or in the mall or while driving, he's not doing such things. So this is something,
Hmm.
yeah, like unable to figure out what exactly we have
Maybe
to,
it's around boredom. The child is bored and now he's doing
Mhm.
that. So keeping activities around. When I like I tell the parents for the home like
Mhm.
how to go about it. I do ask them to keep a room free, a corner where they put toys in a corner. One
Okay,
activity, other activity. So they start from this activity from the right side, and then they're doing the other one, and then they're busy. Their hands are busy.
sure. Thank you. Thank you very much for
Right.
clarifying this.
Thank you.
Uh, Hi,
Hi.
I have one actually question, sir. My kids is 5 years old, and whenever we are going for any shopping mall, he wants to take more items, like at least
Hmm.
10 to 20 items. And also, if he see any other kids is eating something or holding something, he will take that one. He will grab that one. So, how to improve on this issue?
Well, in this issue, our behavior therapist can help you more. But what's coming up in my mind is role play. Maybe creating a scenario when a child is home and you create a corner where you're in the grocery store in imagination, you made something, and now you're role playing and repeating the dialogues. We are only going to buy these items. So you give the list if the child can read. Otherwise, you can give cards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For example, we need five things to be kept in our basket. So 5 cards. We are only using five things. We are only getting 5 things. Thank you very much. Or you can use his or her sibling for like those dialogues where she has something he likes, and you can say, she has it. It's her turn. Your turn later, or we don't get it from strangers. So creating those role play scenarios help kids. Making those dialogues which be in their mind, goes back in their subconscious. It needs a little practice, a little mind prep. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll try to adopt that one.
I can see a hand up.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. My son has Down syndrome. He's 5 years old. He has autism too. He don't like to play with anyone. He like to play with himself. He wants to be alone always. He like to play with toys only.
So like he is on the solitary play level. You have to move him forward to parallel play. So cooperative play where he has to share one toy with other kid would be very, very like too much to ask. Very worrisome. Okay. So what you can do is, for a while, you can make the child play with another person in a parallel way. So, for example, one child is sitting with his toy, and your child is also sitting with one toy. They are playing, but they're in the close proximity, not playing with each other. So that's how you train him a little bit, little by little. Then you can make them close. Maybe you can give me this block. Maybe you can give me this car. Sharing a little bit. If you put them all together, it will be too much for him. Hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Any other question?
Yeah, I have one question. Assalamu alaikum. I am the mother of my son is Down syndrome and he's 14 years, mashallah. I want to ask about he's playing like his hand. Always he wants something in his hand, like pen, like other thing, and he always slaps the hand. What is the reason? And I want to always he want to play with his hand and flap all the time. So how can I convert this with like fun and other things? What do you think?
That's a good
Thank you so
question.
much.
You're welcome. First of all, this is something that our behavior therapist can help you better. You can just ask them. But however, I'll try to answer your question. This hand flapping is stimming. And stimming has some causes which you can just try finding out if he stims when he's alone, if he stims if he's out in the social environment where he's stressed, he has anxiety, and now he's flapping his hand to calm himself down. Or he's at home alone, bored, so he's now playing with himself. So if you find out the reason, it will be easier to play around. And for hand flapping, you can just teach him to clap maybe. If you don't like clapping, maybe give him a toy. Finger puppets do work with that. You can also teach vocabulary and role play. Finger puppets are easily available in Daiso. You can get them.
Daiso? Okay. Okay, thank you for the information.
Thank you.
Yeah. One thing is more than he liked music very, very much. He always listen and slap his hand with them. Like the music tones, he clapped with them. He liked most the music and the Like whenever he listen and he flap his hand and enjoy the music all the time.
Hmm.
But I am fed
So,
up. I want that he gives some.
hmm. First, we
Yeah,
do
yeah,
have to
yeah,
accept
yeah.
our kids as they
You can
are.
answer,
If
please.
he's getting excited, he's showing that excitement through something. So maybe you can say, "Oh, you're excited! You're excited with the music. The tone is good, right?" And now maybe he's calmed down. Now he saw that you're validating. He's liking the music. Maybe he's calming down. Or
Okay,
maybe you can give him a trumpet. He's just or a tambourine. Now he's playing with the tambourine. His hands are busy, and that's how you're reducing
okay,
the behavior. Thank you.
okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you. Any other questions? We are about to end this webinar.
Ma'am, Assalamu alaikum.
Uh,
Actually, I'm a shadow teacher for a kid who's facing ADHD. So she's having some days she will be a moody. She's just 4.5 years old. So when during the class times, she seems to be very moody. She might cry, or she might even try to kick or just hurt others. So when she's moody, I try to give her some activity. She's fond of numbers. So I always carry some activity papers with me. So when during that activity, she is active and she do that. She is happy with doing this activities. After that, she seems to be moody again. She will be sad or she say no to everything what we say. So how to overcome this? How to help her with the when she is facing this moody type moodiness when she is facing like that? How to overcome?
It's amazing that you know that what she likes, what is her reinforcer, and you're using that to calm her down. You can use the same thing to as a reinforcer. So you can maybe you can say, I'm not working with her, so I don't know. Maybe you can say to her, see, you're being moody, or change the word around. Moody doesn't show what's the reason of her being upset or being angry, or like whatever, name the feeling so she understands the feeling also. And then you can say, you're not behaving the way you should be, so I think I would not give you the numbers. So now you're giving numbers. If she's, for example, for 15 minutes she's behaving well, and she is listening to you and behaving with others, so then you can give it to her. You can use, maybe try experimenting.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Right.
Could you recommend any diet for this special babies
No, I
to enhance
can.
brain development?
No, I'm sorry.
Ma'am,
That is something out of my. You can ask any pediatrician or any dietitian for that. I cannot
because
recommend.
they are a bit lazy compared to typical child.
Well, healthy food is very important for all of us to be active, but there's no such like specific recommendation that I can give. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No worries. We are about to finish it off.
Good afternoon, Anu ma'am.
Okay.
Good afternoon,
Yes.
Anu
Good
ma'am.
afternoon.
Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes, I
Yeah,
can.
this is Mola. Yes,
Okay.
this is Mola.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm working at Montessori Center here in Qatar with the people of disabilities. And currently now I'm facing this similar issues like some kids, they are like very calm and quiet in the morning time. In the morning sessions, when they come to my class around 8 o'clock, 8 to 9, they are very calm and quiet. And they play around. They are just sitting in one place and they do their own work. But after the breakfast, they become hyperactive. They are double active. So is that because of the food habits or because of their energy level is increasing or they got fed up with the environment? That's what I want to clarify from you.
Sugar rush, if they are eating something sugary or chocolatey, that will increase the hyperactivity. That is there.
Yes.
You can give them a break.
Yeah.
Like after the snack, give them a little break to jump around, jump with them, and then they will be
Yes.
little, not enough, but they will be little calmer than they are used to
Yes.
be. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mom. Thank you.
You're welcome. I think we will just close it. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Please, if you have any queries related to the programs that we offer, you can check the website of HOPE Qatar, and you can just check the Lily website. We are going to offer a lot of training programs. Just go and check it out. Thank you so much for joining. Bye. Please fill the feedback form. It will help us to improve and get to know how we are doing. Thank you.